Do you ever feel a quiet unease? Like you're doing everything right, yet something deep inside still whispers, "This isn't it?" You have the job, the friends, maybe even a family picture that fits the script. But beneath it all, there's a strange emptiness, a hollow note in the background of your life. Carl Jung would say, that unease isn't a problem. It's a message. It's your authentic self knocking on the door, begging to be seen. We live in a time obsessed with normal. We measure ourselves by likes, salaries, relationships, routines. We curate images that prove we're doing fine. But what if this performance, this carefully painted version of ourselves, has become our prison? Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Yet most of us spend that lifetime trying to become what others expect. In this video, we'll explore how the pursuit of normality slowly silences the soul, how our culture conformity builds invisible walls around who we could be, and, most importantly, how you can begin to break free from this invisible prison. By the end, you'll see that being normal isn't the goal, it's the cage. And the moment you start listening to that quiet unease, that whispers something more, is the moment real freedom begins. I made this video because I felt it too. That pressure to blend in, to please, to follow. But through Jung's lens, I learned that what I called anxiety was actually my deeper self trying to wake me up. Modern life sells us a dream. Fit in, follow the script, do what everyone else is doing, and you'll be happy. But deep down, we know that's a lie. We scroll through social media and see the same smiling faces, the same trips, the same goals, a collective performance of what's normal. We chase these patterns because we've been told deviation means danger, being left out unseen, unloved. Jung called this the collective hypnosis, the trance of conformity. When the individual surrenders their uniqueness to belong, the soul begins to shrink. To Jung, normal wasn't a virtue. It was a compromise, the flattening of a human being to something socially acceptable. He believed that behind every normal person lived a storm of unlived possibilities, silenced desires, and repressed instincts, all waiting to be heard. You see, society rewards predictability, but your psyche rewards authenticity. When these two forces clash, the result is anxiety, burnout, and depression, symptoms of a deeper spiritual conflict. Every time you say yes when your inner voice screams no, every time you hide your real opinion to avoid judgment, every time you shapeshift to be liked, you pay a small psychological price. And eventually, that price becomes your life. But here's the paradox. Conformity promises safety, yet it's the very thing that makes us feel lost. We become secure, but soulless, comfortable, but disconnected. The modern world's greatest illusion is that blending in will make you belong. But belonging doesn't come from sameness. It comes from authenticity. So pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what does your version of normal cost you? Maybe your creativity, your spontaneity, your truth. That quiet unease you feel, it's not failure. It's your psyche saying, I didn't come here to be a copy. When we silence our authenticity long enough, something happens in the unconscious. The parts of us that don't fit the normal mold, our anger, our desires, our dreams, don't disappear. They go underground. Jung called this buried dimension the shadow. It's everything about yourself that you were taught to hide, fear, or reject. Maybe it's your ambition, dismissed as arrogance, your vulnerability, labeled as weakness, your imagination, called childish. Piece by piece, the self fractures, and we begin to wear a mask Jung called a persona, the version of us the world approves of. But here's the secret Jung discovered. The shadow isn't evil. It's just unlived life. It's the energy you pushed away to survive, now waiting to be integrated. Modern culture feeds this division. We're told to stay positive, stay polite, stay efficient, but never messy, never uncertain, never too real. Our screens show curated lives that make our imperfections feel like sins. Yet the shadow always finds a way to whisper back, in dreams and addictions, in creative impulses, even in sudden anger. It's the psyche's way of saying, you can't cage the whole of who you are. Facing the shadow isn't comfortable. It demands honesty, not about who you pretend to be, but who you truly are when no one is watching. And that's where growth begins. Because to integrate the shadow is to reclaim your energy, to say, yes, I am both light and dark. I am not just what the world applauds, but everything I survived and suppressed. So when you feel your inner contradictions, don't rush to fix them. Listen, that's your unlived life asking for air. Breaking free from normal isn't about rebellion. It's about design, consciously creating a life that mirrors your inner truth. Jung called this process individuation, the slow, sacred act of becoming who you truly are, not who you were told to be. Start small. Ask yourself, what actually brings me alive? What choices do I make out of love, not fear? Try this. When you say yes to something, pause. Feel, does this yes expand or contract your soul? If it contracts, you might be conforming. If it expands, you're aligning. Journaling, solitude, therapy, art, these aren't self-help fads. They're tools of individuation. Each helps you meet a forgotten part of yourself and invite it back home. Redefining normal also means learning to disappoint others, to say, this is not for me. And that's okay, because every time you choose truth over approval, the authentic self grows stronger. Eventually, your new normal will look strange to others, but to you it will feel like peace. And when enough people live from that place, society itself begins to transform. Because authenticity is contagious. When one person becomes real, it gives others permission to do the same. So instead of chasing normal, design your own rhythm, your own definition of success, beauty, love, and meaning. That's not rebellion. That's evolution. Individuation isn't a one-time awakening. It's a lifelong journey, a spiral of self-discovery that keeps deepening with every challenge. The first step is awareness, seeing the walls of the prison. Where are you living someone else's script? Where are you saying I should, instead of I feel? Then comes courage, daring to face the unknown self within. You might lose people. You might outgrow identities. But in the space they leave behind, you'll find something priceless: freedom. Jung believed that wholeness, not happiness, is the true goal of life, because happiness is fleeting, but wholeness endures. It means embracing both the order and the chaos within you, both the shadow and the light, both the human and the divine. Every uncomfortable emotion you face, every mask you drop, every honest choice you make, becomes a small rebellion against the prison of normal. And when you start walking this path, something changes. Life stops feeling like a performance and starts feeling like a pilgrimage. The world outside may not understand, but the world inside begins to glow. If you've made it this far, you've already begun the journey. Today, we explored how the chase for normal quietly cages our individuality, how our shadows carry the truths we've buried, and how the path back to authenticity, to individuation, begins the moment we stop performing and start listening. What I learned while creating this video is simple, but it changed my life. The soul doesn't want perfection. It wants participation. It wants you, the real, messy, evolving you. So if you feel lost, uncertain, or different, don't rush to fix it. It might just mean you're finally stepping outside the prison walls. The world doesn't need more normal people. It needs more authentic ones. People brave enough to live their truth, even when it doesn't fit the mold. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to breathe. And remember, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just waking up. For more reflections like this, on psychology, philosophy, and the hidden depths of self. Subscribe to Hidden Self, because every video is another step toward the freedom of being who you truly are. The greatest prison people live in is the fear of what others think. Carl Jung